Today I am going to be doing a video on George Harrison's All Things Must Pass. It was released on November 27th, 1970. November 27th happens to be my son's birthday, so it's got a little extra meaning for me there. But All Things Must Pass is definitely my favorite George Harrison album. In fact, I actually like it better than two Beatle albums, With the Beatles and Let It Be. But for me, it's just the culmination, I think, of everything George had been working towards in terms of his songwriting. It's almost George Harrison's White Album. Not a single weak track on the album. You've got the radio singles, which were My Sweet Lord and What Is Life, and just some outstanding tracks. He collaborated with Bob Dylan on I'd Have You Anytime and If Not For You, which was a Bob Dylan track. And just the rest of the album, from Apple Scruffs to All Things Must Pass and Let It Down, which were demoed during the Let It Be sessions. One of my favorite tracks off this album was the Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp, and that actually was the person who owned Friar Park prior to George Harrison. I don't know if it was immediately prior to George Harrison purchasing the property, but there is that significance there. But I just love the Let It Roll track. Just so many fantastic songs from Isn't It a Pity, Part 1 and Part 2, and Beware of Darkness, The Art of Dying. Just so many fantastic George tracks on here. So it will always remain for me, and I don't care what comes out from now until the end of time. For me, it will always be my favorite solo Beatles album. I don't have it on cassette, unfortunately. It grieves me very much that I don't. So I'm just going to be showing you today my vinyl and CD copies. Now, I've got the original pressing of All Things Must Pass, and the way you can tell is it's got Apple here on the label. Unfortunately, the top of the box has separated from the back. The tape has split on the side here, so the cover is detached from the rest of it. But on the lid here, you've got the list of the tracks, and then you've got the album credits in terms of the musicians that played on it. Several tracks feature Badfinger providing instrumentation. It has to be said that the album was produced by Phil Spector. Some people think it was overproduced. I happen to enjoy the production very much on this. There's a warmth that comes across. Just I don't know, I can't imagine these tracks with anything other than the Phil Spector production. So I don't have any interest of hearing them stripped down or kind of having that wall of sound stripped away. I think they're fine exactly as they are. Now, this came with a poster, which I'm not going to open up this version of it just because it's so old. It's kind of brittle, but this is the poster that came with it. And then each of the vinyl albums comes in a separate colored sleeve that has the lyrics on it. This is what the vinyl looks like. And it's a very distinctive font that was used for the album packaging here. And actually, this font was used on George's comprehensive greatest hits CD collection, which was called Let It Roll, The Best of George Harrison, or whatever. They used that font on the spine of that particular CD. It's a distinctive font, but I like it in as much as you can like a font. So that was the first album, and then the second album is kind of a darker brown sleeve. The vinyl looks the same, so I won't show that. And then this third album is in, I guess, what you might call a mustard covered sleeve, and this label looks a bit different from the other two, so I will show that. Trying to be very gingerly when I put these albums back together in their sleeve. I don't want any splits on the sleeves themselves. So that is the original pressing, and then I've got the second version that I've got is on the orange capital label, and on the spine here it doesn't have Apple, it's just got the STCH 639. This does have the tape that connects the two boxes here. And also at the bottom here, it's got capital and EMI, which is how you can tell it's a later pressing. Hopefully that came through. The album sleeves also are colored just like the original pressing, and this is what that label looks like. And the label of all three albums looks the same. Even the Apple Jam album. I'll show this. That's what that looks like. And I do not have the poster in this version, unfortunately. It didn't come with it when I bought it, but I'm still happy. The condition of the box itself is pretty good. And then the last version that I have to show you is the 180 gram, which was released, I believe, in either 2018 or 2019. And just to give you a comparison so you can see how much thicker this box is, this right here was the older box, and then this one right here is the 180 gram. And I'll show you shortly why this box is a little bit wider. And this is a more of a pure white than kind of the more sepia toned, just to give you kind of a comparison on that also. And I don't know if this was from age or if it's just the way it looked originally. I can't say, to be honest. And this has the Apple right there. And this is the poster. I'll open this one up so you can see it. Most of you already know what it looks like, but it is a picture of George at his home. That's also the cover they used for the cassette, if any of you own the cassette. And then the sleeves themselves are separate. The vinyl is not actually housed in these sleeves. The vinyl comes in this protective sleeve, and as you can see, they don't use the font, the original font on the label. It's just kind of a, you know, a standard font. So I'm not sure, because there's meticulous detail to every other part of the box except the actual label. So I'm not sure why they wouldn't have just gone the extra mile and had the original font on these labels, but it is what it is. And then the Apple Jam album looks pretty similar to the one before. So, and this has kind of a brighter mustard color than the original. And again, I'm not sure if that's just from age or if it really is a brighter color. I do not know. So not only are the albums a bit thicker, but you have the sleeves to account for taking up a larger space as part of this box. So now I'm going to get into the CDs. This was the original CD release, and it's in a fat box here. And this just presents strictly the album tracks. You've got I Have You Anytime all the way down through All Things Must Pass, take up CD 1, and then CD 2 starts off with I Dig Love, and then it ends with the rest of the Apple Jam. Now you open it up, And this is what the CD itself looks like. And curiously, the booklet does not contain any of the lyrics. I'm not sure why they didn't reprint those. This is what the booklet itself looks like. And then you've got the poster that was included in the album. And then the musician credits. But no lyrics. I'm not sure why they didn't go the extra step and include those lyrics. That is disc 2. So that was the first CD issue. And then in 2001, for the 30th anniversary of All Things Must Pass, this was released. Now this replicates, except for the fact it doesn't have anything printed on the spine here, for the most part, pretty faithfully replicates the box. I would have preferred that the album cover itself be the black and white photo that was on the original album. However, George, I believe, had control over the art on this, and he wanted it to look a little different. He wanted some colorization, so I'm fine with that because there is a difference between the two. As you can notice also, for those of you who even care, the title on here is positioned higher on this CD than it is on that one. Just something that I noticed. And so this is what the back looks like. Of course, the back on the original box was just blank, but this has got, on CD1, it's got I'd Have You Anytime through Run of the Mill, and then there are 4 additional tracks. There's I Live For You, which was an outtake from the All Things Must Pass sessions. And then, actually, I'm sorry, there's 5 tracks because there's Beware of Darkness, Let It Down, and What Is Life, which are demos, early takes. And then there's a 2001 version of My Sweet Lord, a re-recording. Not a big fan of that, but, you know, happy to have it on the collection nonetheless. And then on CD2, it's got, starting with Beware of Darkness, and then the Apple Jam CD. Now this opens up, and you've got some variations on the cover here for the different CDs and the booklet. So I'll try and show this all. This is the actual booklet. So it's the same picture of George, however, the background has been airbrushed with the freeway overpass. There's an essay from George, a comparison picture of George in 1970 and George in 2000. This may have come out in 2000, actually, now that I think about it. I'm confusing this date with when George passed away in 2001. These were photographs from that session, album credits, and it does have the lyrics here. And an alternate photograph of George right there. And then this is, each of the CDs is housed in a separate case, although the photographs are the same. And on the back, it's got another alternate photograph of George from the album photograph session. So all in all, I think it's a really cool package. The remastering on this sounds greatly improved from the CD version. And if you were to ask me which version of the vinyl sounds better, I'd have to say the 180 gram version. There's just a cleanness about it. I think it stands out more so, definitely more than the original pressing, and absolutely better than the orange capital label pressing. And so the final version that is available on CD was part of the first George Harrison box set, which covers the Apple years. This has a spine that looks pretty similar to the one on the box. And then on the back, you get pretty much what was included on the inside lid of the original box. It's got the track listing. Now this conforms to the track listing on here. On the first disc, you've got what was essentially the first album in the box set. And then you've got the additional 5 bonus tracks. And then on the second CD, you've got essentially the last 2 albums that comprise the original package on here. And you open this up, you've got a little crop picture of the poster that was in the original album. You've got a little essay here, some notes from George Harrison that were also part of the 2000 anniversary collection. You've got that 2000 picture of George, and then in the middle, it's not a booklet, it's really something that it folds out into the poster here, and then it's also got the song lyrics printed on the back. So a pretty handsome package. This is the one that I actually prefer. And then the CDs themselves are housed in a sleeve that has the same color as the original album packaging. And then, yay, they have the red apple, although again, they don't have the font correct from the original album release. Again, it's such a small thing, it wouldn't have taken anything to just print it that way, so I'm not sure why they didn't, but I'm not going to complain. This really sounds fantastic, so I'm happy with it, and I do enjoy it. This middle center, when you take the photo out, it's got the Apple Jam picture, and then both CDs actually are, they have the, or do they? Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I took the wrong one out. This is the purple sleeve replicated. And then the CD looks pretty similar. So that is my All Things Must Pass collection. Now, if you are interested in seeing some of the outtakes from the photo session for All Things Must Pass, I would highly recommend. There's a new book that came out. I actually have it, and I didn't bring it out, but I will go and quickly grab it. It's called Be Here Now, and it contains outtakes from the photo sessions of All Things Must Pass and Living in the Material World, as well as some of the Bangladesh concert. It's a really handsome package, and just to give you an idea of what you get, some pictures of George, and then more pictures from the photo session that Barry Feinstein took. These ones are in color. George actually smiling. Seemed like he was so serious during this period, but goes to show that he actually was enjoying it. I'm just going to show you the ones from All Things Must Pass, since that's the album that I'm talking about. I'm not sure where this cave is that George is in. I don't know if it was on the property that he was in, but just really some interesting photos there. You may have seen other people that did a video exclusively on this package, but I think that's Patty Harrison there in the background. Like, I think pretty much every photograph that Barry Feinstein took is included here. Now, I think the What Is Life single was actually this photograph right here. I don't have any of the 45s from this period, but so that is my All Things Must Pass collection, and thank you for watching. I appreciate any comments, and everybody take care.